Path to success in your job. Hello, and welcome to today's explainer. I want you to take a quick, deep breath with me before we dive in. Settle in. Today, we're doing something just a little bit different. We're stepping away from the typical fast-paced rush of information to have a calm, focused mentorship session. We're going to look at a fascinating framework that maps out the true path to success in your job. But it might not be the exact path you're expecting, because instead of endless hustle or completely burning out, we're exploring a blueprint for navigating workplace stress with actual grace. Is your identity merely your job title? Let me ask you a really direct question, and I just want you to answer it honestly in your own head right now. Are you currently feeling overwhelmed by your career? When things go wrong at the office, do you end up taking all that stress home with you? So often, we tie our entire self-worth to our professional output. We start to really believe that our identity is just our job title. If the job is going well, we feel good. If the job is struggling, we feel like we're failing. But what if that perspective is entirely backwards? Calm mind, right decision, stress-free life. There's a beautiful grounding thesis to this approach, and it's captured perfectly right here. Look, work pressure is completely natural. It's a given. But the absolute truth is that the peace of your mind is entirely in your own hands. Despite all the external office pressures, the looming deadlines, or demanding bosses, your internal state is yours to govern. This simple three-step progression is really the foundation of everything we're going to unpack today. Key lessons for workplace success. These principles aren't just abstract philosophy, They actually form a really systematic breakdown of key lessons for your workplace success. By anchoring ourselves in these core rules, we can transition from abstract ideas into highly practical everyday advice that you can literally apply at your desk tomorrow morning. 4 key practices: reduce stress, focus on current work, make calm decisions, and drop ego to build teamwork. Building this new mindset into a daily routine really relies on these 4 pillars. First, actively work to reduce stress. Second, focus entirely on your current work. Truly, your absolute concentration on your present task is the biggest key to success. Third, make calm decisions. And fourth, drop your ego to build teamwork. Just think about how often we sit at our desks worrying about a massive project that's due next month, rather than just focusing on the single email we're trying to write right now. Bringing your attention back to the present task, that is where your true power lies. Balancing feedback. When receiving praise, don't let your ego grow. When receiving criticism, don't let your confidence drop. Consider the daily feedback loop we all experience at work. It requires a pretty delicate balance. When you receive praise, the rule is surprisingly simple. Do not let your ego inflate. Conversely, when you face criticism, do not let your self-confidence shatter. It is just so easy to ride that roller coaster of office opinions, right? Feeling like an absolute genius on Tuesday and a total imposter on Wednesday. The approach here is to stay completely centered. You absorb the feedback, you learn from it, but you absolutely do not let it dictate your internal emotional state. Base decisions on wisdom, not emotions, which brings us directly to how we actually take action. Decisions that are made with a calm, logical mind. Decisions driven by wisdom are literally always going to yield better results than those driven by office anxiety, frustration, or just fleeting emotions. When you feel that sudden surge of panic because a client is unhappy, or maybe anger because a colleague spoke out of turn, that is the exact wrong moment to make a decision. Step back, let the emotion pass, and let your wisdom take the wheel. Humility, cooperation, and respect build strong relationships. This emotional regulation naturally extends to how you treat the people around you. Humility, cooperation, and respect are what genuinely builds strong relationships in the workplace. And look, dropping your personal ego isn't about letting people walk all over you. It's about realizing that you don't actually have to prove you're the smartest person in the room every single minute of the day. When you foster a supportive and grounded environment, you create a team that actually wants to move forward together. How do we face the pain of failure? Let's be realistic for a second. Even if you do all of this perfectly, you are going to hit a wall. So how do we face the pain of a real failure? A major project collapses. An interview goes terribly. This is the real-world test of the COP mindset. Remember, an obstacle is simply a lesson to learn. It's not the end of the road. Let's look at a really specific, painful example that I think a lot of us have faced at some point. Missing a promotion. On one hand, we have the wrong thought, I am a failure. On the other, the right perspective. Missing a promotion really stings. It hurts your pride, and yeah, it hurts your wallet. Notice the stark comparison here. The toxic reaction, the wrong thought, is internalizing the event and literally telling yourself, I am a failure.
You've taken an external event and somehow turned it into your core identity. But the right perspective completely detaches your underlying worth from that specific corporate outcome.
The right perspective: 1. Accept calmly. 2. Learn from mistakes. And 3. Focus on better performance. Let's break down exactly how to adopt that right perspective step by step. First, you've got to accept the outcome calmly. Don't fight reality. Second, look objectively at your shortcomings and learn from your mistakes. What could you have actually done better? Third, replace that anger and despair with a focused, forward-looking drive to just improve your performance. You guide yourself out of the rejection by focusing purely on what you can control, rather than raging against the things you cannot. An inspiring message on true identity. This brings us to what I consider the philosophical peak of our session today. We need to transition from these daily practical habits to a broader, inspiring message about your true identity. This is the exact anchor you need when those daily practices start feeling a little too difficult to maintain. Identify with your true self, not your job. I just want to pause for a second and let you truly absorb that. Your salary, your title, your corner office, or the lack thereof, these things do not define your existence. They're just things you do. You must never link your fundamental identity merely to your employment, your position, or your pay. You're a completely whole person, entirely outside of those corporate metrics. Work is your responsibility, but your peace and self-respect belong to you. So the absolute crucial point is this: your work is a duty. And yes, you should absolutely do it well. But your inner peace, your self-respect, and your self-confidence, those should never depend solely on your corporate results. Those belong to you. You are literally the only one who can give them away, and you're the only one who can protect them. When the mind is calm, decisions are right. When decisions are right, success finds its own path. This brings us full circle to a deeply empowering final thought. You don't have to force success. You don't have to burn yourself to the ground chasing it. By cultivating a calm mind, the right decisions naturally follow, and success organically charts its course right toward you. It's just a completely different, healthier way to approach your career. So, as you head into your next workday, I want to leave you with this one question. Will you let the chaos of the office define you? Or will you choose the quiet power of a calm mind?